Good evening, everyone. My name is Shruti Thomas, and I'm your host for the UK National Zoom Opportunity Meeting. It's my pleasure to welcome you to today's call. I just want to request you to put your mobile phones on silent for the next half an hour because what you're about to see might just change your life like it did mine. So, without wasting any time, I'm going to introduce you to today's speaker. Now, you're in luck because you've got the best of the best, the top producing senior vice president of the company who's going to be presenting the opportunity, none other than Mr. Ahmed Mukhtar.
Shruti, thank you so much for the kind introduction. Highly appreciated. And good evening, everyone. I hope and pray that the Zoom webinar finds you well. We're living in some challenging times, and I know most of us have probably been quarantined in our homes for the last 2.5 months now. But one thing I want to just share with you is that with today, we're going to be sharing with you a home-based business opportunity, a way that you can actually, in your current situation, being quarantined at home, a way that you can actually go out there and generate some additional income. And just to let you know, in 2013, in fact, prior to 2013, I was working 8 years as a retail manager in Marks and Spencer's, just as an average individual, nothing special, working very long hours, around 60 to 70 hours a week. And in 2013, a colleague that I worked with approached me one day and he said, "Ahmed, are you open-minded to making more money?" And here was my response. I mean, who isn't? And in 2013, I was introduced to what I'm about to share with you today, this home-based business opportunity, which is called ACN. And it's a company that I've been a part of now for the last 7 years. Over the last 7 years, I started out in this business just with the hope and dream of just making some additional income, which I'm sure is the case with most people today. And that additional income, little did I know, that additional income then after some time started matching what I was making at work. And then it got to a level that it just completely far surpassed what I was making in my career. And I've ever since then, I've been doing ACN completely full time. And just to let you know, what has this given me and what can this opportunity give you? With hard work and some time, of course, it really can give you complete financial freedom. I want you to imagine a life where one day, where money isn't really a problem anymore. Imagine if time wasn't also an issue for you, that you had the flexibility that you can work from home, have more time to spend with your loved ones, maybe have a leisurely breakfast that you couldn't usually have due to the, due to the constant times that you have to devote to work and traffic and all the rest of it during the early mornings. Imagine if you were able to live life on your terms. Well, let me share something with you, is that this opportunity can actually provide you a platform to do that. And again, this is not representative of everyone. But for me in this opportunity, I've made more money on a monthly basis now than I used to make in a year working as a retail manager. So that's just crazy to say. I never thought beyond my wildest dreams that this would have been possible. But one thing I want to tell you is it does take hard work. And before I get into this information, I want to make a very important disclaimer that there's nothing in this business is guaranteed. I want to just put that out there. And success with ACN is directly influenced by an individual specific efforts. How many people know people that have gym cards, but they don't go to the gym? Just because you got a card, it doesn't mean that you're going to get a great physique. You've got to now combine that card with a work ethic in the gym, and you'll get good results. Well, ACN is the same thing. Just because you start ACN, it doesn't guarantee success. But if you combine that with a work ethic, you follow the system, you move up the compensation plan, you build a customer base, this can really become a dream come true for you and your family. So let's dive into the information. Who is ACN? Well, ACN today is an international multi-customer acquisition company. We're a direct sales company. In fact, today, we are the world's largest direct seller of telecoms, energy, and essential services in the world. ACN's been operating since 1993. Today, not only do they have a 27-year proven track record, they are currently in 27 countries around the world. Over the last 5 years alone, they've done 4 billion in sales, and they continue to grow. So what does this mean for you? It means an opportunity to own your very own online business, a business where you can get paid off the essential services that people need, want, and use every single day. What services am I referring to? Well, imagine being able to make money on services such as gas and electricity, broadband TV and phone, mobile phone and SIM services and home security and payment processing services, which I'm actually going to come to momentarily because I'm very, very excited for this call. So let's dive into this. The first service that you're going to be able to sell when you get involved with ACN, so they give you your very own online storefront. So through your online shop, you can now acquire customers. You can now sell these services. You can market them. So you can now sell gas and electricity services. You can market energy services through our partner, Blue Green Energy. You can also market Virgin Media services, which is broadband TV and phone. You also have the opportunity to participate in the mobile phone industry. Just think about how big and how important our mobile phones are. Well, guess what? We do SIM services. We do it with EE. We all know EE, the largest mobile phone provider in the UK today. But we also have our own mobile phone network provider, which is called Joy Mobile. Now, what makes Joy Mobile unique? We all know EE and their credibility and their track record. But some of you are probably unfamiliar with Joy. So what Joy now allows you to do is, if you acquire 5 services on Joy Mobile, your monthly line rental becomes completely free. Now, we have home security and business security through our partners, Verisure Smart Alarms. Again, you can market that service as well. And last but not least, today, which I'm so excited about, we are launching on this very call, payment processing with First Data. You're going to get to hear from one of the senior partnership managers of First Data later on this call, and they're going to be sharing with you the vision of the company and how huge. I mean, we had a call, a pre-call to this call, in fact, last week. And I'm telling you, when I saw his presentation, I was completely blown away and in fact taken back by how big this company actually is, the #1 merchant service provider in the globe. And guess what? They partnered up with ACN. So that tells you a lot about ACN. Now, not only do we provide these services here in the UK, but across Europe, there are many other services that we are in partnership with, many other large companies. For example, in Germany, we're in partnership with Vodafone. In Sweden, Hello Mobile, Aldro Energy in Spain. The list goes on. Now, ladies and gents, the first thing I wanted to know when I took a look at ACN for the very, very first time is, well, how is this company able to revenue share with someone like me? How are they able to rev share with me? And I was really perplexed until they told me ACN's winning business model, which means they don't do no advertising. Can we all agree that companies today, they spend millions and millions of pounds to market, to attract new customers and to continue to keep the ones they already have? How do they do that? Internet marketing, mass mailing, TV advertising, and radio advertising. The list goes on and on and on. Now, we're not saying those methods of advertising are ineffective, but here's one thing we do know. That when you're watching your favorite program on TV and the adverts come on, that's an incentive for you to go to the kitchen and probably grab a beverage. No one sits around the TV like, honey, grab your popcorn, the adverts are coming on. Here's Coca-Cola. They just released sugar-free Coke. No one sits around doing that. Just think about that. Think about when a YouTube advert comes on of they're advertising someone, biting into a Cadbury's chocolate. We cannot wait for the skip button to highlight so we can skip that. So we're just saying that, I'm not saying they're completely ineffective, but we're saying we'd rather revenue share with people just like you and I to go direct to the customer through relationship and referral marketing. The same way today, when someone recommends you to a nice restaurant, you probably go based on their recommendation. If someone recommends you to a movie, you probably go to watch it based on their recommendation. Well, guess what we do in ACN? In ACN, they give you your very own online storefront, and through your online website, you can now go and recommend these services that we provide to the people you know, the people that you have a relationship with. And you can also get a referral from every single customer that you acquire. So that's what makes our business model so unique. Now, I said to myself when I first got started, well, I don't have tens of thousands of pounds to partner with Blue Green Energy and Virgin Media and EE. You're probably going to ask me for thousands of pounds. And here's what I found out. That to start ACN, it's £479. You get a 7-day free trial period to try the business out for yourself. See what it is before you make an educated decision, before you make a financial commitment. What do they give you? With this, they give you your fully functioning e-commerce website. They take care of all the IBO care and all the support that you need is provided for you through a community of other independent business owners that are there to help you with your ASIN business. Full customer support and customer care is provided for you. You get tracking of your business where you can monitor everything and see everything inside out. And not only can you do your business from where you are, but you can do it from the comfort of your laptop device, your mobile phone, anything that connects to the internet. Our websites are absolutely functioning, with the type of online business that ASIN is going to be providing for you. Now, ladies and gents, let me speak about how we make money. I spoke about the company, its track record, its business model, how you get started. So let me speak to you about how we make money, because I'm sure, 500 and coming up to 540 people are live on this webinar right now. Just think about that. And why are 540 people here? Because people today more than ever are looking for other ways of making money. During this pandemic, we've realized how obsolete most jobs are. So many businesses are business. Well, in ACN, ladies and gents, there are 4 different income streams that you can make money on and you can leverage off. So let's speak about this. The first way we make money is called customer bonuses. Now, what this means is whenever you acquire customers, ASIN pays you a bonus. Now, as soon as you acquire your first 3 services, ASIN pays you a £75 bonus. As soon as you acquire 3 more services, they pay you a £125 additional bonus. So as soon as you get your first 5 services, they pay you a £200 bonus. Every time after that you get another 5 services, you will now earn a £200 bonus. Now, you notice that I'm using the terminology services. Well, why am I using that terminology? Here's why. One customer can use multiple services. They might have in their home broadband, TV, and phone. They might have multiple mobile phones. They might have, internet. I don't know. They might have obviously an energy service. So one customer can use multiple services. So as soon as you get 5 services, you make a £200 bonus every single time that you repeat this. Now, here's the second way we make money. The second way we now make money, ladies and gents, is called personal residual income. Now, what is residual income? The only thing I had that was residual prior to getting involved in this business was my bills. I had residual bills, but I had no idea what residual income means. So what residual income is the concept of doing something one time and being able to get paid on that transaction month after month, year after year. So let me give you an example. When are people going to pay for their gas and electric bills? Every month. They're going to continue doing it every month. Their mobile phone bills every month. Well, here's what it means in ACN. Every single month your customers now pay their bills, you are now able to earn up to 10% of the commissionable revenue of that customer month after month, year after year, every single time they pay their bills. Just think about that for a moment. So the more customers you acquire is the more residual income you build for yourself. But it doesn't stop there. Now imagine being able to build a team of other people that do the same thing. So just think about this for a moment. Let me give you an example. This brings me to the third way we make money, overriding residual income. So imagine you started ACN, you introduced a few people to the concept, they acquired some customers, they're making up to 10% of the commissionable revenue of their customers, nothing to do with you. But because they came through your referral, they joined your team, they're in your network, you now also get paid up to 8% of the commissionable revenues of their customers as well. And guess what? Those people will introduce more people. Now, guess what? You will also get paid on anyone that joins your entire organization. You will now earn up to 8% of the commissionable revenues of every single customer. Now, ladies and gents, again, as I mentioned in the beginning, I've been doing this for the last 7 years. I've worked extremely hard in this business. Over the last 7 years, in my example, we've been able to build a team of tens and tens and tens of thousands of business partners all around the world today. And not just that, because those tens of thousands of people have now acquired tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of customers all around the world that I'm able to leverage off and earn residual income month after month, year off. So ladies and gents, the beauty about that is because of residual income, I've been able to do things that I couldn't even dream about before. Travel the world, have the lifestyle that I only dare to dream about. Now, I'm not telling you that that's going to be the case with you. If you work hard and you commit to the system and you learn and you climb up the compensation plan and any other thing that you are going to become successful in anyway, if you apply the same principles to that into this business, you can really thrive. Now, let me get to the final way that we make money. We now have earned positions. We have a compensation plan that's designed that you can start from the very beginning And through the system we have in place, you can get to the top highest ranks in our company. You can start all the way from customer qualified, which is CQ, to executive team leader, which is ETL, RD, which is regional director, RVP, which is regional vice president, and the highest position is senior vice president. Now, I'm a senior vice president, but I want to introduce to you some phenomenal individuals that started ACN just like you. Every single one of these individuals are from complete different backgrounds. They've worked extremely hard, and they've reached some great milestones, and they're from all different categories: executive team leader, regional director, regional vice president. Now, the first person I'm going to introduce to you, she is an executive team leader. She's done exceptionally well in ACN. I'm really, really happy for herself and her accomplishment. And that's without further ado, I want you guys, I just wanted to share a few words with yourselves, and just so you can get to know who she is. So please help me welcome on the call, executive team leader, Mrs. Wana Bizik. Wana, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mukhtar. My name is Wana Bizik, and when I first seen ACN, I was just working in retail, very long hours, and not being able to spend time with my children. Luckily, I have been introduced to the ACN system. Sorry, can you see me? I'm sorry.
See you now, Wana.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Luckily, I've been able to see the ACN system and all the amazing leaders, what they do, and I've been able to have their coaching, their leading, and I went through with the ACN. I'm now an executive team leader, and it's all thanks to the ACN system. I'm just around 200 team points right now, but I couldn't have done this without everything that ACN is putting in place for us. And obviously, during this time, we're lucky to be all online. Thank you very much. Over to you now, Mr. Ahmed.
Thank you so much, Wana. Highly appreciate your leadership, and thank you so much for sharing your story. Now, the second individual that I want you to all hear from, if it would allow me, just give me a second. The second individual that I want you to hear from, again, this individual has done exceptionally well. He's a regional director today. And in fact, you know, he's worked very hard in ACN. He's made some great things happen. And that's none other than regional director, Mr. Abdul Mohammed. Abdul, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me, Ahmed?
Loud and clear. Go ahead, buddy.
Perfect. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is well. My name is Abdul Mohammed. I'm a regional director in this incredible opportunity, ACN. I got started 2014 January, and the reason why I got started is because I just wanted a lifestyle of freedom and choices. How many of you are like me that just want to build life on your own terms, want to go wherever, with whoever, whenever, and not be restrained by either finances or time? So that was me 6.5 years ago. I got started immediately. After 3.5 years, I was able to hit the amazing position of a regional director. And within the last 6 years, we've also been able to promote so many regional directors in our organization and help some tremendous people make some really good income in this opportunity. I owe it all to the training and the support system that ACN provides. If it wasn't for that, I definitely would not be where I am today. So if I was you, I would grab hold of this opportunity, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Ahmed, back over to you.
Thank you, Abdul. Highly appreciate. Congratulations on regional director. And in fact, he's working towards the next position of regional vice president. And in fact, I want to bring a regional vice president on. And this individual, he is more experienced than most people on today's call. In fact, he's been involved in ACN, I believe, 20 years. He's got great hindsight. He's got a great perspective to be sharing his story from. And that's none other than my very dear friend, regional vice president, based in Scotland, in fact. You always say sunny Scotland. And that's none other than my very dear friend, Alex Alexandra. Alex, over to you, buddy.
Hey, good evening, Ahmed, and how's life in London?
Life in London's pretty chilly today, I must say.
Well, that's great. This is like the Eurovision Song Contest, but we've got snow forecast for the hills tomorrow. Can you believe that? Anyway. Yes, sir?
We don't even have snow in December sometimes, so.
Anyway, it's a funny time that we live in. Listen, Ahmed, thank you for bringing me on the call here this evening. For the brand new folks, I want to just share my very short story. About 21 years ago, believe it or not, I got a phone call from a very, very good friend who had a proven network marketing history. He talked to me about this new company coming to the United Kingdom called ACN. I want to tell you what I said. I'm not interested. This is not for me, and I've got no time. You might meet people like that. Not interested, not for me, I've got no time. But you know what I did? I kept listening to my dear North American friend as he was talking. And when he was talking about getting people to use a phone line, and we get paid for the lifetime using their phone line. I need you to know that captured my imagination. So I got started and I spoke to a bunch of very close friends. And what's amazing, absolutely true, a huge amount of those people are still working with me today, 21 years down the line. What is also amazing, I'm getting paid on people using a phone line today that I spoke to 21 years ago. So all I can say, this is a great system. And with what we've got coming with ACN, oh my gosh, is it going to be fabulous. Back to you in London, Mr. Ahmed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alex. Highly appreciate it. And thank you for your leadership. 21 years, just phenomenal to say. So ladies and gents, Alex actually mentioned the system that's in place in ACN. You're wondering, what do I need to do next? Well, the first thing you want to do is enroll as an IBO. As I mentioned, you get a 7-day trial period initially, and utilize the support system that we have in place. We have these online webinars, especially during this pandemic, that we're not able to do physical events that we usually have. But usually we have events, weekly training events, national events, and all the rest of it. But in the meantime, you can plug into these Zoom webinars that we actually have on a daily basis during this time. We give you full training and support. We actually teach you everything you need to know about the business. So ultimately, you're in business for yourself, but you're never by yourself. So before you hear from our guest speakers that I'm going to be introducing very, very shortly, I want to briefly speak to you about getting started. Well, what do I need to do to get started? What's next? Now that I signed up, Ahmed, how do I now get started? Just share a few things with me. Well, I'm going to share with you a few time frames that you want to work towards. And the first thing is, we have bonuses that are available in your first 30 days, right? So we call it 37 days because 7 days is free, then you've got 30 working days after that. So let's speak about your first 37 days of being in the business. The second time frame I want to speak about is your first 90 days of being in the business. And the fourth time standpoint I want to speak about is your first 120 days. So what do you want to do? First thing you want to do is become your own customer and take advantage of the bonuses that we have in place. For example, if you acquired one Very Short Alarms customer, that will pay you £150 as a bonus, just to give you an example. If you acquire 3 Virgin Media customers, that's a £325 bonus, and you can see all the other bonuses on the screen. Now, when you've acquired your first 3 services, remember, you get paid a £75 bonus right away. Now, here's what ACN tells you. Get 2 more services. As soon as you get 2 more services, they pay you an additional £125, which makes it a £200 bonus. So now, in your first 37 days, you've made 200 already. If you now introduce 2 other people and they do the exact same thing and they get 5 services, here's what now happens. You earn an additional bonus of £250, which makes it £450 total that you can earn right out the gate in your first 37 days. Now, here's what ACN now tells you to achieve in your first 90 days. You want to work towards this. Well, in your first 90 days, if you help your 2 business partners now introduce their own 2 business partners, here's what will now happen. You will now earn a bonus of £750, and you will also become an executive team leader. So take advantage of the bonuses we have. So in your first 37 days, introduce 2 people. In your first 90 days, help those 2 people find their 2 people. I'm sure we can all get 2 people to find 2 people in 90 days. Congratulations, you make a total combined bonus of £1,200. Now we have a position called Regional Director. And if you achieve Regional Director in your first 120 days of starting the business, you now earn an additional £7,500 bonus, which makes it a total of £8,000 plus in your first 120 days of being involved in a business. But ladies and gents, it doesn't stop there. Because when you're a Regional Director, anytime someone now joins your business and they get their first 3 services, you will now earn a bonus of £160. So let me give you an example. Let's imagine now you're not the one even doing the recruiting, that your team is now building the team, right? So let's imagine if 1 month, 15 people get into your business, that's £2,400 and as soon as they acquire their first 3 services. Well, what about if 25 people did it? What about if 50 people did it? So the income that you can make as a regional director is incredible. And when I achieved the position of regional director, it was really a life-changing moment for me, because in this position, because I was helping so many people in our group, I was on a monthly basis earning a solid multiple 5-figure income in this position. So it's a great position to be in, but that's completely dependent on you, how many leaders you're helping, how much momentum you have, and how much people that you're really helping to win in your ACN business. So let me finally wrap up with this: how to build a team. Well, Ahmed, how do I now introduce people? What do I need to say to them? Here's what I say: let the experts do the presentations for you. Like today, I mean, I think, I'm not even sure how much call count that we're probably up to, but we're almost touching 700 people on tonight's webinar. Well, every single person on this webinar, who's working hard at the moment? I thought so, me, right? I'm the one doing the presentation. So what you have to do is just invite your people. Let us do the presentations. We have leaders that are senior vice presidents, regional vice presidents, the top leaders are doing the presentations on a daily basis. So here's the way it works. You just get involved, become your own customer. When you do this, just make a list of people. I'm going to teach you how to invite very, very shortly. As soon as you invite, they will now see the presentation. They can decide 2 things. I'm going to become a business partner, or I'd rather not become a business partner. I'll support you by becoming a customer. And we just repeat that cycle. So how do you invite? Here's what you now tell them. Very simple. It's if I, would you. So let me elaborate this on a bit, on a bit more. So you check up on them. How are you? How's everything going? Hey, listen, just a quick question. If I sent you a link to an online webinar showing you how you can make money from home through an online business, would you take a look at it? Very simple. If I sent it to you, would you take a look? If I sent you a link to a webinar showing you how you can start an online business, potentially change your life financially, would you just take a look at it? If I would, very simple. Don't try to persuade them. Just get them in front of the information and let us do the talking. If they ask questions, don't answer them, because it's your first time. You're not qualified to answer it. Let us do the answering. Here's the only thing that you have to say. Hey, look, I was just introduced to it myself. I'd rather not try to explain it. But you really need to see the visual information for yourself. Put it back on us. You're going to see presenters that are going to go through everything with you in much more detail. Just come and take a look at the webinar. Now, ladies and gents, that's basically what ACN's about. So just to recap what we've covered, I spoke to you about the opportunity and its 27-year track record. I spoke about how to get started. I spoke to you about how we make money and what to do when you first get started and how to earn money right out the gate in ACN. And I want someone there's an individual who's going to be following me on this webinar that's going to just share a few things with you. He's going to be introducing our special guest speaker, which is one of the top senior managers at First Data, and they are absolutely what's the word I'm looking for? They are, they're absolutely essential in the partnership that we have with First Data. And you're going to hear from this individual very, very shortly. And we're excited to be launching First Data. It's an honor that we're actually partnered with this phenomenal company. But I want you to hear from, ladies and gents, an individual that has, he has more than 10 years of experience in the direct sales industries. Today, he's the country manager, not only for ACN in the United Kingdom, but across Scandinavia and Germany as well. So when I tell you this individual is a phenomenal, individual, it will be an understatement. And without further ado, ladies and gents, please help me welcome on the call ACN Country Manager of the UK, Mr. Thomas Vestergaard. Thomas, the stage is yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. And first of all, thank you for a great presentation. It's a pleasure to watch these presentations each time with the testimonials and about what is achievable for each individual. And good evening, everyone. And I hope you're all well. We have all been stuck at home for a long time. This is great that we can meet on Zoom here like tonight. So I hope you and your families are all well. And I just want to hear if you're ready for some good news, because we mentioned it a bit briefly that we are launching our new partner, First Data, Fiserv, as they are called, which is a merchant service provider, meaning we add to our business opportunity the opportunity for you to go out and find business clients and get paid when people go to restaurants, go and pay in a shop. And the merchant services from First Data is not just some company, it's the world leading company within this industry. So with no further ado, I just have to say we are excited from side of ACN. We've worked very hard over a period of time to introduce this to you, to make the opportunity stronger. So please help me introduce to the call Mr. Rob Jeffrey, who is the Senior Partner Development Manager at Fiserv, First Data, Fiserv. They have two names. So Rob, a pleasure to have you on the call again. Thanks for all the hard work you put into it, and welcome to the ACN family, and welcome to the call. Over to you, Rob.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the introduction, Thomas. Ahmed, thank you very much for the kind words as well. We are, of course, very excited to be here today. What I'm going to do is just share a screen with you quickly. Hoping that's now on screen, guys. Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your time, and echoing what everyone else has said, more importantly, I'm hoping you're safe and well at these difficult times. Delighted to be here this evening. It's been a long time coming, and a partnership that we've been working on for a long time. From our perspective, this evening really is to demonstrate and talk through who we are as a business. I'll run through the agenda in a second, but just to touch on one of the elements here, you'll notice that First Data and Fiserv are both there co-branded. We are going through a branding change at the moment. Fiserv acquired First Data last year, so you will see First Data and Fiserv referenced both throughout this and in future as we transition over the coming months. Agenda this evening, I won't take up too much of your time, but very quickly it will be, who are we? Introducing what we do. More importantly to you guys, how you can generate us business and yourself business and income. A brief touch upon the types of solutions that we've got. And then what we'll do is we'll finish off with just some FAQs, which will hopefully answer some of the questions that you'll have sitting there burning inside. So who are we? So effectively, we're a global leader in payments. Now what that means in simple terms is we process payments, credit and debit card, whether that's online, face-to-face, over the phone, etc. We are the largest in our field. Our business is split into three core elements, and we'll touch upon it on the next page, but where our relationship falls is within the merchant acquiring space, credit and debit card processing. In all of our fields, we are the largest globally, and again, I'll touch on that in a sec. We've been operating for over 35 years, and just to give you an idea on the scale, we process on average 3,000 transactions per second. We have 46,000 employees worldwide, and we support thousands of financial institutions with over 6 million businesses in more than 100 countries. So that gives you an idea of the scale side of things, and 2.4 trillion sales volume processed. On top of that, in regards to who we are as a business, we're fortunate to operate in the way that we do, that we've been named in Fortune's World's Most Admired Company for the last 6 years in a row. So we're delighted to be in partnership with ACN, and I really wanted to put this slide on just to give you an idea of who we are and where we are within our industry. You are dealing with the largest within our sector, and I think that's important for you guys to know from a trust perspective. I won't go too deep on this slide, but this really is just a brief synopsis of the sectors within our business. We operate in three core areas. The financial solution side of things, GFS, is very much linked to the banks. So we do a lot in regards to issuing cards, help with back office, etc. That's the GFS side of things. Where we fall is within the GBS business solutions, so the global business solutions, and that quite simply is to offer SME all the way up to enterprise businesses a range of solutions to be able to process and take credit cards efficiently, securely, and quickly. And that can be face-to-face, over the phone, or e-commerce. And lastly is our network and security solutions. And that really is in line with exactly what it says. So security, risk, and fraud management solutions. You'll see below just a brief snapshot of the types of businesses that we deal with globally. And hopefully that just cements with you guys who you're dealing with and the type of businesses that we partner with and support on a daily basis. Again, just following on from that, so we operate in a number of geographical locations. What we typically do, we can operate independently as either Fiserv or First Data, and we also work with banks. And what we do in those relationships is we offer a white labeled service, so those banks are using our processing platforms, our support services, and we go to market as their bank. So you'll see some well-known banks globally there, Bank of America in the US. In the UK, we do that with Lloyds, and in Ireland, we do that with AIB. We do operate as sole First Data / Fiserv in the UK as well. So what is merchant acquiring? I'm just going to show you a 3-minute clip, which is a bit back to basics as to what merchant acquiring is. I'm just going to jump out of this and share another screen with you, but I think it's important just to illustrate to you not only who we are, but where we fall within the payment processing spectrum.
Hey, Rob, we can't hear your audio. So if you stop sharing and then reshare and just tick the share sound box.
No problem.
Yeah, so when you're sharing your screen, just before you press share, you're going to see share my computer sound on the bottom left, I think it is.
Apologies all, we'll start that again, and Ahmed, feel free to dive in if it doesn't work, but I've ticked that now, so it should be fine. I'll start it again now.
Meet Joe, a local small business owner. Joe's customer Amy wants the convenience of paying with her credit card. Good thing for Amy, Joe accepts both cash and card payments. Prior to accepting card payments, Joe had to learn about card processing. For example, who is involved in the payment processing? The cardholder, anyone who has obtained a credit or debit card. The merchant, the business owner who accepts credit and debit card payments. The payment processor, the organisation responsible for facilitating the movement of funds, known as a transaction, within the rules and regulations set by the card issuers and card organisations on behalf of the merchant. The card issuer, this is the bank that issues the credit card to the cardholder. The card organisations, for example, Visa, MasterCard, Discover and American Express. These associations are sometimes referred to as schemes and are responsible for the infrastructure to route the transaction data between the payment processor and the correct issuer. Authorization process. Amy gives Joe her credit card for payment. Fiserv configures the complex encryption of the data on behalf of Joe. Fiserv submits the transaction to the card organisations. The card organisation routes the transaction to the card issuer. The card issuer confirms Amy's account is in good standing, has available credit, and then approves or declines the transaction all the way back to Joe's credit card machine. All of this happens in under a second. Settlement process. Joe initiates settlement and sends all the pending card transaction data from the day to Fiserv. Fiserv submits the pending transaction data to the card organisations. The card organisations transmit the pending transaction data to the card issuer. The card issuer then removes the funds from Amy's account and sends the money back to Fiserv, minus the interchange fee and minus the network fee. Depending on his account setup, Fiserv will either fund Joe's bank account with the full transaction amount and debit the fees at a later date, or fund Joe the transaction amount minus all the fees. The transaction process is now complete. Amy has her goods, Joe has his funds, and the other parties have deducted their fees for managing the transaction.
Thanks for listening to that, guys. So I think it's important just to show you exactly where we fit within the process there. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an insight as to what that looks like. Bear with me 2 seconds. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Apologies, my laptop's just frozen at the perfect timing. Technology.
No worries, Rob. It's absolutely fine. We can wait. We've been waiting for many years, so we can wait 2 minutes.
Apologies, we are nearly there. We should be back, hopefully. Ahmed, do feel free to jump in if not. Apologies about that. So generating leads, in terms of what it looks like for you in the process as to what happens once a lead is sent over to us, I just wanted to briefly touch upon that. The typical route of an ACN referral will be that an IBO would identify a client in need. A lead is then submitted to First Data via a web to lead form. That lead then hits our CRM within our head office. And that goes into our lead management team, who will call that customer and confirm their needs and then pass them to the relevant sales team within First Data. So we have a field sales team that covers the whole breadth of the UK. We also have a telesales team, and we have a mid-market team as well, which is designed and structured for those more complex multiple outlet businesses. So I think the key there is to really understand that regardless of the size and the type of business that you submit to us, we have a sales team that can look after and manage that process. So once it's submitted to us, our lead management team will then pass that to the relevant business consultant at our end. They will either arrange to have a face-to-face meeting once we're allowed. At the moment, it will be a virtual meeting either via video or phone call. They would then run through the solutions that we have there and complete the merchant application should that customer want to proceed with the suitable product, etc. I think the key here is to just make a point that we're not expecting you to understand all of our solutions and all of our products. It's just about identifying a client that is in need. Once you do that and you send that over to us, we will run through all of our products, we will run through the solutions, the pricing, etc., and complete the application form. All we're looking for you as an IBO is to generate that opportunity for us, which I know you're so good at. Once the merchant application form is completed, it then goes through our onboarding system, and we're providing an update to both the IBOs and the customers as to how that's progressing. And there are automated emails throughout the process that keep the customer updated as well. Once approved, the business consultant will then contact the client and arrange a time to meet and install the hardware and complete the setup to process payments. Now, typically from start to finish, this process will take around 10 days. It can be a lot quicker, but this is a financial regulated product and we do require some information within the application, and that's where sometimes there might be a delay. We have seen throughout the pilot stage, however, we had a lead that was sent to us on a Monday. It was approved Monday afternoon with the terminal dispatched and plugged in on the Tuesday. So that gives you an idea of how quickly we can turn around things if need be. There will be detailed reporting during the entire cycle that you guys will be able to track and monitor. And if there is an issue or something that needs help from you, you'll be able to see that as well. That's a typical route. In terms of the devices, so when we're talking about products and solutions and taking card payments, I'm sure you've all been into a retail shop or paid with your card before and used a traditional, what we call a PDQ or a terminal device. So we offer all of those, of course. What we have is our own product suite called Clover. Now, Clover is a family of devices that can be either a full EPOS system all the way down to a standard, not a standard, but a PDQ device that can be used as a terminal. These products are run on Android. They're cloud-based systems. They have full, powerful business management platform. And we can really offer something for a full EPOS that will allow the business to do everything from employee tracking to stock management to inventory, just down to a standard terminal that just needs to take payments. I won't go into too much detail on these, but this is just a look and feel as to what they look like. The Clover Station Pro, a very sleek device, Android app-based, that allows businesses to fully manage their business from start to finish. Detailed reporting system, loyalty apps, you can access this data anytime, anywhere. The Clover Mini is a smaller device that again can be used as a full EPOS or just as a more basic functional terminal. That's a static device that can be placed on a worktop. And the Flex device is probably our most popular device within the UK. This is a mobile device that can connect via Wi-Fi or that has a 3G data plan as well. It has a built-in barcode scanner and receipt printer. And again, this can be used to link into your full EPOS or just used as a standard terminal. These are some of the devices that you'll probably traditionally see. I think we can all agree that the devices before that are a lot more in keeping with where the world is going from a look and feel perspective. We still offer these devices though, so that if there is a client that needs something like this, that's absolutely fine. Some of the alternative solutions, I won't go into too much detail here, but obviously you don't just take payments in store. Particularly where we are in the world at the moment, we're seeing a lot of people transition to taking payments and having to work more remotely, and obviously moving to online as well. So we can offer online solutions. We can also offer what we call virtual terminals, which allows a business to take a payment in the comfort of their own home via an internet-enabled device, whether that be a laptop or a PC or a mobile handheld device. We also have our own gateway, which effectively is a terminal online. We work with a number of other gateways. Our gateway in particular processed over 1.2 billion in 2019. We have just shy of a million live stores, and at our peak last year, we processed 1.77 million transactions in a single day. There's also the ability here to transact in multiple currencies, have recurring payments, and also link in through integrations as well. The final part, and thank you for listening, whilst particularly when we went through the technical hiccups there, some FAQs that you might be interested in, and hopefully this will answer some of the questions that you may have. So the typical one we hear straight away is, what if I'm currently in contract? That's fine. So if you have less than 18 months left, then we would suggest that it would still be worth reviewing. So we can assist with up to £150 towards any cancellation fees. Just to sort of put a bit more meat around that, so the cancellation fees typically equate to a terminal rental amount multiplied by the remaining months left on that lease. This may vary and other fees may apply, but that's typically what we see. Another thing you're going to come across is, we currently use a full EPOS system. Can you still help? The answer to that is absolutely. We work and integrate with a large number of EPOS providers in the UK, so our advice would be to submit that lead as normal, and First Data will discuss in more detail. We don't expect you to know the ins and outs of that. What is the initial fee to start up? There are no setup fees with First Data. What are the types of terminals you offer, and are varied lease times available? So we briefly touched on this, but we offer a variety of terminals to suit business needs. We have the desktop terminals that you see in shops. We also have mobile and Wi-Fi devices, and we can also have semi-integrated terminals that will talk to your current EPOS provider. And do we offer varied lease times? Yes. So the terminal lease times will vary from 12 to 48 months, depending on the terminal type and really down to the customer preference. How long will it take to receive my funds? So typically when you, in the payment space, it's 3 to 5 working days. We do have faster payments that are available. That is available upon request and subject to underwriting approval at our end. So typically what you'd see in the acquiring world, as we call it, it would be 3 to 5 working days. What type of card payments can I accept? So the answer to that is simply anything that you would process in the UK, we can accept. So Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Diners and Discovery. We also accept the payments via Apple Pay and Android Pay, so all the up-to-date payment devices. Can I accept payments in more than one currency? Absolutely. We can transfer and accept payments in a multitude of currencies, and also settle in those currencies as well, depending on the particular needs. Viewing your account online. So we have our own effective banking tool for online merchant account processing. So we call that Business Track. From there, a merchant or a customer will be able to go online, they'll be able to view their bill and also pull some information on their statements and their processing. How much is it going to cost? So we offer a competitive rate, and I think I can safely say that we're the largest globally, so we can be as keen as we need to. That being said, we're very much about building solutions here. So we don't want it to be a race to the bottom in terms of rates and fees. We offer solutions that can help businesses grow. So from our perspective, we will absolutely look at rates and fees, because that's obviously a key driver for many people, but it's about us understanding the business needs and providing some solutions that will help them help their business. What rates and fees we can offer will be based on several factors, including card turnover, whether they're new to cards, and also the average transaction value. Our call centres are all based in the UK. Do I have to use card acceptance service provided by my bank? You hear this quite often. No, you don't. So card acceptance services can be provided independently. You don't have to use your bank to process card payments. And I think a good example of that was a couple of slides in, when we showed you that we actually provide services, joint ventures and white label services for a number of banks. You can see it's the likes of us that sit behind them. How long does an application process take? Typically 10 working days of submitting, as already mentioned. Do I have to be a limited company? No, you don't. We work with all types of ownership structures, from sole traders, partnerships, limited companies, etc. Geographically, we cover the whole of the UK. That includes the Channel Islands, etc. And does a terminal require a phone line? So quite simply, no. Terminals can operate on a multitude of connections. It can be SIM card, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and obviously the traditional phone line setup as well. That's it from me. I think from our perspective, First Data's aspiration is to move money in a way that moves the world. And we're really excited to be a partner of ACN, and we're excited for you to join us on that journey. So on that note, I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll pass you back to either Ahmed or Thomas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rob. Man, I'm excited. And Rob, thank you for a great presentation. I have to say, I took some notes during your training, and I think there's just a few things I want to highlight to all of you before I cover some of the things that is really interesting, or more interesting when you talk business terms, that's the compensation. I just want to say you can switch up till 18 months before your contract runs out, and our new partner, First Data Fiserv, they will help you cover up to 150 of the penalty fees you might have from your old provider. I think that is a great beginning of a great partnership, because that gives people an opportunity to really go out and talk to people and go out and create these relationships. Also, I really loved the video you showed, Rob. I think most of us, we know how to pay with our phone, we know how to swipe a card, but the process behind it, I think that video was phenomenal in explaining how complex the system is and how easy you make it with First Data. So thank you a lot. Ladies and gents, we have a few minutes left, and I will not take more of your time, but I do want to share something important with you, and that is the compensation and some key do's and don'ts that is very vital to protect not just your business, but also our partnership with First Data. So I will go in here and find my presentation and share it with you. Bear with me. We hope we don't have any issues here. We won't. Great. So, do's and don'ts. And this is really not because we want to spend a lot of time on policing anything, but we really want to protect our partnership. And the do's is, when we go out and talk to a potential customer, as you can read here, make sure the business has a genuine need to accept card payments, face-to-face, over the phone or online, meaning, are they a real business that has a real need for the services of First Data? And another important thing, make sure that the business that you go out and talk to has a minimum yearly transaction amount of 10K, 10,000 pounds, meaning minimum 800 pounds monthly. Below that threshold, the customers will not the customers will not be accepted. Make the businesses aware that it will be First Data that's contacting them. You create and you proceed the lead to First Data. It will be one of the professional consultants from First Data that will go back and as we also saw in the presentation, that will reach out to the customer. Also, in preparation for that, find out who the current supplier is. If they're existing or already a customer with First Data, then of course it makes no sense to switch. Explain that and also First Data can either communicate over phone, or there will be or book face-to-face meetings. Depends a bit. These times we do more phone, but it depends of the type of the business. And also ask the business to, in order to make the process as smooth as possible, as Rob mentioned, it can take up to 10 days, but we have also seen during our test period that we had our alpha test, it took only from one day to another to have the contract and everything done. So ask the client to be prepared, have the different documents ready. So all what we can do to prepare ourselves before, the better and the faster the customer can be signed up and the faster you can get the points. Secondly, and this is the don'ts, please make sure that we don't guarantee that they can become a customer. It's a financial product. So it's up to an individual, of course, review of every client. And price, Rob mentioned it, is the world's largest supplier of merchant services we're working with. They are competitive, but they sell services and solutions. So price is individual and based on the individual type of business that is that you send in a lead on. And secondly, and thirdly, do not, and this is really important, do not send leads in or avoid sending in leads without the consent of the business, the shop, the restaurant, whatever it is, because it creates bad awareness, which is bad for all of us. So this is not, I mean, all this makes perfectly sense. It's all put in place to protect your business, to protect First Data's business, to protect ACN's business, meaning it's set in place to protect all of us so that we can all grow with this fantastic new member of the ACN service family. So that was the do's and don'ts, importantly now. And I would say everything I'm going to share here, the do's and don'ts and everything else we have, is available in the back office. Everything that's shared is available in the back office. There's a market and product overview. There's an order process guide. There's a product guide. There's FAQs. There's presentations. Everything that we have talked about and everything about compensation is available on the back office right now. And we are live as of 7:45 UK time. So Rob, officially welcome. I hope you can see the slide. This might be a bit confusing, so I'll go right through it, but explain it to you. It's lead generated. So a lead that is not a real customer yet gives 0 points. And as I said, you need to have minimum £800 in monthly turnover. That is the minimum threshold. If you have that and up till £3,000 a month in transactions, then you will get 1 point. Between 3,000 and 3,001 point and £6,000 a month in turnover transactions, you will get 2 points. And if you have a customer that has a turnover on £6,000 and above, the service will give you 3 points. And this is, we have something we call switcher with device. All is device based. You need to have a device also when the customer needs to switch on with a device as well. A switcher is someone that already are in a contract. And the same goes, then we have 2 categories. That's new to cards. If it's a brand new shop that just opens but want to switch and need a credit card system, then these other, the average and the earnings are the same. But of course, it will take a bit longer to validate how the businesses look like, what is the turnover. It's a bit different. It's much more described in detail in the back office. And again, I just want to say, when we talk compensation, and this is really important. So when we go out, when you go out and share the opportunity within First Data, if you come along a prospect that has several businesses with several merchant IDs, it could be a chain, it could be someone who owns several restaurants, several shops, whatever. Each merchant ID will count as separate points, meaning if you find someone that has 5 restaurants and they all have a threshold greater than £6,000 a month, then you will earn 5 restaurants times 3 points. That is 15 points on that customer, because they all have different merchant IDs. So you will, on that point, make multiple points on the same customer that has multiple outlets. So that's great. Secondly, what is the commission? What are you going to earn? So, and as Robert said, and I guarantee you all, when we had this meeting, a very constructive meeting with the top UK leaders last week, we discussed compensation. And because as we don't know what the monthly turnover will be, it can vary. It's quite hard. So we tried to make it as simple as possible with 3 examples: a low, a medium, and a high. And that means what we are seeing here is that's examples. They are hypothetical, but they are still seen within the industry. So if you have one of the customers that is low, let's put that, as you can see, with a monthly turnover of £10,000. And it's important to understand, it's not the transaction, as we saw in the video, it's not the transaction amount that determines the commission value. It's the fee that First Data charges from the merchant, from the owner of the merchant ID, from the shop, the restaurant, the bakery. So it's that fee that the commission is counted out of. That's basis for the commission. So here we see the commissional value. The fee is 36. The commissional value is 28 plus the lease of the terminal. That gives, in this example, points plus a commissionable value of £30.9. That's what the commission will be based on. In the medium example, same calculations, you will have a total commissionable value of £84.7 a month. And in the high example, which is when you get this big customer, large restaurant, whatever it might be with a high turnover, your commissionable value will be a £138 per month. That is what your commission will be calculated out of. So 3 different examples to simplify it, much more in detail described in the back office. And one thing that is also worth mentioning, for the combined customer bonus, where you for each 10 points you achieve in a given month, First Data is also counting for the combined bonus. That means for each 10 points you get in each month, you can earn additional £200. So, I mean, getting First Data into our portfolio of services marks a circle, because now we have everything from energy. We have really essential services now for business with First Data, to energy, to high-speed internet, to mobile services, to home security. We have something for any need, meaning that our opportunity has right now no limit. We can get business clients, we get private clients, we get every client. And what is so important and so great here is that we always expand and see to expand our business opportunity. This is just the beginning. Working with the largest merchant service operator in the world can only be a benefit for all of us. So, ladies and gentlemen, officially welcome to the launch of First Data Fiserv in the United Kingdom, in the UK market. We are excited. I know that the leaders, based on their feedback, they're excited. And I just want to, before I hand over to Ahmed, say thank you for being on the call. Thank you for everything you are doing, because believe me, I know how much you're working. And I want to also say thank you so much for hosting this call, Ahmed. It's a true pleasure to work together with you. And we just want to say we appreciate all you're doing. So thank you, Ahmed, and I'll give the call back to you.
Thank you, Rob, and thank you, Thomas. Highly appreciate your time. Ladies and gents, a reminder, this coming Saturday, we have ACN President and Co-founder, Mr. Greg Provenzano, who's going to be our special guest speaker. The link remains the same. The link doesn't change. And especially tonight, we had at 1.930 people on. So we've got only 1,000 spots for this Saturday. So make sure that you are on, because we do have limited capacity. We will start sharp at 2 p.m. and Mr. Greg Provenzano will be one of the first speakers. So you want to make sure that you're on very early to make sure that you get your spot. We're going to start bang on at 2. We're going to open up the lines at 20 to 2. So that makes it 1:40 p.m. The lines are going to open up. So make sure that you're tuned in so you get your spot. So with that being said, what I want to do before we end off tonight's call, just to show our appreciation to Fiserv and First Data, I'm just going to unmute the line.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Rob.
Thank you very much.
Let's get it.
Thank you.
Awesome. I think we're going to crash Zoom if we keep that open. So thank you guys. Thank you everyone for being on the call. We'll look forward to seeing you Saturday at 2 p.m. with Mr. Greg Provenzano. With that being said, that's the end of the call. Have a great evening, everyone. God bless.